Hello everyone! Today I am going to show you a slideshow that I had at the company I work for. It's called Reinventing the Wheel, and it's mostly about the good parts of reinventing things. So yes, let's get into it. Reinventing the wheel. The good and the bad parts. The bad parts. Time is money, it's risky. Now these bad parts usually implies or applies if you are reinventing professionally. Let's say you are at a customer and you think it would be a good idea to reinvent some kind of technology for the project you're working on. Then these two bad parts points come in. Time is money. Someone is paying you to be there and work for them. So if you mess up your reinvention, people are not going to be very happy. So that also implies that it's risky. The good parts. Now these points applies if you're reinventing at home in your hobby projects, but they can also apply if you're reinventing at work. It depends on the situation entirely. So the good parts, it's educative. By reinventing things, you will learn things that you wouldn't learn otherwise. For example, in my game engine project, I reinvented a programming language to be used in my game engine. And by doing that, I learned how to make a programming language. And that also gave me experience, of course. And sometimes you might actually create something better by accident if you reinvent things. Let's say I would create the best programming language on the world by accident because I chose to reinvent it. Now that obviously didn't happen, but you know, there's a chance that you might reinvent something that will be better. And it puts your imagination to use. And it's fun. Now I will go through these points a little bit more in detail. It's educative. Here's a quote from David Rockwell, an American architect and designer. Every project is an opportunity to learn, to figure out problems and challenges, to invent and reinvent. It gives experience. By reinventing, you gain experience that you otherwise would not. Imagine if we stopped reinventing and we only kept using tools that already exist. Of the time, great knowledge on how these tools work would be lost. For example, let's say that everyone just stopped making game engine. And I'm talking everyone, even the ones that are currently developing game engines. If they just stopped making game engines and decided to just use the game engines that already exists, then knowledge on how to create a game engine would after time be lost. And a game engine was just an example here, but you can imagine that this would apply for other technologies as well. Let's say everyone stopped making cars, then maybe we would forget how to make cars after a while, and we would have to disassemble existing cars to gain that knowledge again. Now I'm sure it's documented somewhere, but you get the point. Innovation by accident. The act of reinventing might yield a better product than the one originally being reinvented. How would we ever create better products if we did not reinvent them? You know, sometimes an idea or a project needs to be reevaluated or reinvented for you to see aspects of it that could be improved. So that's basically what I mean here. It promotes the imagination. Now this slide is a little bit more, it has a bit humor to it, I guess. Our imagination is what separates us from most other animals. We are capable of imagining the most amazing things, such as particle accelerators, nuclear reactors, airplanes, and SpongeBob SquarePants. There's a whole universe inside our skull, so why not use it? I don't think I have to explain this further. It's pretty much self-explanatory. We are capable of imagining the most insane things. So I think we should use our imagination. It's fun. It's fun. Human beings are art-producing machines who loves to do it. There's not a lot of other animals that has this property. We are art-producing machines and we love to do it. Brag time. Now, if you're a subscriber to my channel or you're watching my previous videos, you already know about you already know about the things I'm gonna mention here. But you know, I want to show you the whole slide that I showed for my for the company I work for. So I wanted to create a game engine, so I did that, and you know, I live streamed some of it, and people's reaction was, "No, use Unity." You know, people always want to prevent you from reinventing because it's mostly seen as a bad thing to do. So this was people's reaction. No, use Unity. And my reaction to that was basically, well, I want to have my own file format, so I'm going to make my own file format. So I created a Sprite file format that supports animated graphics. And people's reaction to that was, no, use GIF. But they didn't get the point of this. The point was not to create a game engine. The point was to, the process was the point, you know? To being in that process of creating that game engine was the point. And people that wanted to prevent me from doing this, they didn't get the point. So they gave me solutions for the things I was going to implement, but they were not thinking about, maybe I'm having a lot of fun doing this, you know? And then I decided to create my own programming language or scripting language to be used within a game engine. And as you can guess, people weren't very positive about this either. No, use Lua, people said. Lua is made for this. Other engines use Lua in their game engines for this kind of purpose, but they also didn't get the point. At this point, I thought it was a really fun idea to create my own programming language because it's fun, not because I was looking forward to the goal, the end goal where the programming language was done. I was looking forward to being in that process of creating this programming language and maybe learn a couple new things. And then I needed a graphical user interface for my game engine, so I made my own. And people said, no, use ImGui. Now this is a library for C and C++ to, I think it's, maybe it's not for, I know it's for C++ at least, to create graphical user interfaces. And people said, why don't you just use that? And they also didn't get the point. The point here was to be in the process of creating that graphical user interface, because it's fun. What I learned and what I lost. So what I learned, or what I earned, I mean, knowledge in how to create a game engine, of course. I wouldn't have gotten this knowledge otherwise. I gained knowledge in how to create a file format. I don't think I have created a file format before, so this was something new to me and it was very fun. And it's not even done yet, so I'm still working on it, you know. Knowledge in how to create a language. I have created languages before, but that was also because I wanted to reinvent something, you know. So that is knowledge that I gained from doing that. And I think knowing how programming languages work behind the hood is, or under the hood, or behind the curtains, or how you want to say it. I mean, it's a pretty good thing to know. And yeah. And I also gained knowledge in how to create a graphical user interface using OpenGL, and that was kind of new to me actually. I have done it before, but not to this extent. And last but not least, lots of fun. I earned lots of hours of fun. And you know, I'm still working on these projects, so I'm still having a lot of fun. The fun has not ended yet. So just to be clear, my purpose was not to create a finished game, nor was it to create a finished game engine. It was to be in the process of creating this game engine, and then possibly I can create some games using this game engine later. But for me, most of my projects get cancelled because, or I never finish my projects just because of these things that I don't do it because I want to reach some kind of goal. I do it because I think it's fun to create things. And that's basically it. And yeah, you get the point. And what I lost, time. Time is all that I lost here. And indirectly, maybe I lost some money as well, because I have to feed myself and things like that, but you get the point. So, conclusion. We are art producing machines, and there's nothing wrong with that. And here I am referring to people that wants to stop you from being creative, people that wants to stop you from reinventing things. They don't get the point. There's nothing wrong with reinventing unless someone is paying you, because you don't want to waste someone else's money. At least that's how I think about it. And here is just some random thoughts that I had. You would not say to a songwriter to stop writing love songs because they already exist. You would not say to a painter to stop painting paintings because they already exist. And for me, creating things is usually the same as doing art. If you create a game engine, that's sort of the same as creating art, even though most of the time art is described as in the form of paintings and sculptures. But I mean, if you're making a project and it's completely technology, and and you're doing it using code, I mean, that's also a kind of art, I would say. Yeah, you get the point. And that was my entire presentation. Now, I think it was a bit longer when I had it at the office, because, we had some discussions and things during the time I had the presentation. People stopped me and wanted to ask about things. And then big thanks to etc.usf.edu/clipart. That's where I got all of these graphics from that I used in this presentation. And I can really recommend that site. They have a lot of, their illustrations looks very professional, and they say on their website that it's free to use in classroom purposes. And, this is sort of a classroom type of situation, I would say. So, that was all for me. I just wanted to share with you this presentation that I had. I hope you enjoyed it, and keep creating stuff, and don't let people stop you from reinventing unless you're doing it on someone else's money, I would say. So, thank you for watching, and if you're not already a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.